Sometimes your best client is the client that teaches you who you never want to work with again. Today, we are jumping into nightmare clients
Dun, dun,
and
dun.
we are spilling some tea, which is my favorite thing to do, and going over all the things and the people that we have worked with in the beginning and even now that catch us off guard, and how we dealt with it, what we learned from it, and how we evolved. Because I think every creative struggles in this department. When you are presenting your own artwork out into the world, and especially to a paying client, it gets it's a little nerve wracking, a little scary. And I mean, it's a vulnerability depending on what you're presenting and creating for someone else. But yeah, we are diving in and spilling the tea today, and talking about some stories that we have walked through without naming names, but
Confidentiality.
right. But wanting to bring those stories because we both struggled so hard in this department early on.
Still.
And like,
thankfully, it's fewer and far between, I feel like.
yeah, but like finding our voice even, and then the confidence behind that voice to stand up for ourselves, and not take shit from jerks.
Yeah.
So
people who are not very nice.
Yeah. So, I did have a question for you though. Have
Yeah.
you ever been approached by a job or a client or an opportunity and there was just like red flags like waving in the wind all over the place, and you were just like, but this is a huge opportunity for me, so I'm just gonna take it and see what happens?
That's a great question. I feel like my answer is like weird. It's like yes and no.
Yeah.
Because yes, I've definitely seen like the red flags. The red flags flowing and streaming across.
Yes.
But sometimes it hasn't been like in like the hugest of opportunities. It's been like in like okay opportunities, right? Like
yeah.
But I still take them. Let me just like finish that thought. I still take them because I think, well, I gotta support.
I will fix
this.
them. I will heal them.
Yes.
I will turn them into
creatives, makers, helpers, healers, baby. That's why we talk to this crew, because why are we like this? Yes, I can fix it. It's not that bad. I'm just making it bigger than it really needs to be, and I'm self-sabotaging when actually really it was that I needed to listen to and look at the red flags, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, like most of the time, and I don't know how to say this eloquently, but I'm just gonna try my best.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's in projects that really just aren't in alignment anyway.
Yeah.
They're really not like the grand opportunity that are gonna like bust me into a whole different, echelon or community or whatever. It's like these things that I'm just like, I had to learn the lesson to stop doing that again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
And it was just like eating away at me.
And it is hard when you're first starting out and you're like, I need all the clients, like gimme.
Yes, that too.
And I think that when you're in that season, you learn a shit ton of lessons about who not to work with.
Yes. Or even the type of work.
Yeah.
Too. Like it could be the person or it could be the type of work that you're doing.
Yeah.
For that person. Or sometimes it's both happening at the same time and you're like, oh, so many lessons are happening right now. Right. And it's like too much.
And don't you feel like when you're first starting out, it's almost like when you lose those opportunities or that, something happens with that client and it's like almost like hits harder.
Yeah.
Because you're like trying so hard to like find your footing, find your, I don't know, your style and your personality, I guess. Well, you already have a personality, but like,
Yeah, but no, your creative personality.
Yeah.
Or your business personality, kind of like who like, because we're all, no matter how authentic you are in every room that you go in, you still have like shape-shifting of your own like essence, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like in different ways, shapes, and forms. And so you're figuring that out.
Yeah. And it's limiting when you're first starting out to like be in such a niche environment or like just niche yourself down to only working for chefs. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
Or like,
Yeah.
you know, food photography. I know some people specialize in that, and
Right.
that's fantastic. But like,
Yeah.
like niching it down so far where you're eliminating 90% of your potential clients, and then you're not even knowing like where the hell to go to find the clients that you're wanting.
Yeah.
So we're gonna share some tea. And some stories because we both struggled with this a lot.
Yeah.
And we found ways to protect ourselves legally, not like firearms or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe mace.
Not too aggressive over
right,
here.
We're lovers, peacemakers, and not fighters.
Love and peace, baby.
But like, there's wild shit that happens out in the world,
Yeah.
and I mean, people have, you know, I feel like people are losing their mind on a daily basis nowadays. But like, the people that you know, you're in your bubble, and then a person comes along, and you're holy shit! Like, I didn't know people could talk to other people that way.
Yeah.
Like, and be so disrespectful, or like be so cruel, or be so like nasty. It always comes like from left field, and you're like, you know, going about your day, sending another proof off or whatever, and then it hits you, and you're like, what?
Right. Yeah, you're like, excuse me?
Yeah. So, do you have some tea to spill? Because
I feel like it's like, where do I even go? You know? How long do we got today, Chrissy?
Right,
No.
I know, right. Maybe like a story or of a client that you learned the biggest lesson from, or a client that like just, I don't know, wasted your time and energy, or...
You know, I think for a lot of us out here floating around, building things, creating businesses, trying to understand, you know, what direction we want to go in, we will take on, like you said, we'll take on so many different things because at some point it's part of the process.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like, you have to
take a business.
Right. You have to take on things because if you don't know, like for me, starting in photography, I started out doing all the things.
Yeah.
Weddings, events, kids, families, all, like everything you could think of. I think I at least tried majority of the types of photography that you can dabble into. If I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have found where I really love to shine or my style within it. However, at some point you get to the point where you're taking it on because you're in scarcity mindset. Let's talk about that for a second. What will come into that, you'll take the red flag because you're like, well, I need to have income. So what if this is my best bet at having a project next month or whatever, you know? Right. So like we rationalize and we say, sure. So for me, I feel like the majority of my like interesting hard clients and or projects were more like, I'm 8-ish years in being full-time in my business, was like my midway point. I was lucky in the beginning where although I was taking on a lot of things and different modalities of my craft, it was just like everything was just like okay enough. There was not a lot of like turmoil, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like if there was, I didn't know, right? If somebody wasn't happy, they didn't tell me.
Sometimes you're in a season where you're just like bending and kind of morphing into whatever you're needing to be at that time for that client.
Yes.
Which I totally understand. But then once you finally find your spot, and yourself and your style and all that, then that makes sense.
So my mid, like, you know, let's say like 3-4 years in is where I started to get like the problematic stuff.
Yeah.
Because now I'm busy and like profitable enough to say no to things, but I'm not. I'm taking on the red flags because I'm still like ebbing and flowing in and out of scarcity. I'm also ebbing and flowing out of worth conversations. Well, if I can't do it all, then who am I?
Yeah.
Like I'm crap, you know?
Yeah.
So a nightmare client that came during that time period was somebody that their end goal was their end goal. Like they wanted stuff for nothing. They wanted every little nook and cranny to be like explored in their own way, their mind, even though they're not the one doing it, right? But they're like this, that, and the other. And let's talk about it. Art, creation, healing, dance, yoga. There's some subjectivity to all of it, right? Like, oh, I liked that class. I didn't like that class. Oh, I liked this final product. I didn't like this final product. Like there's subjectivity in everything. So I go into this thing, right? It was a photo shoot. It was a branding photo shoot. There was product and personality photos going on. And from the get, it was just like the amount of the way that I was spoken to was just like already like, why am I even like doing this? There was a couple times on conversations where I was like, I might hang up. Like, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
But yet I still continued just like trudging through it. But I was like, I'm just going to hang up because there's no talking through this at this point because they're just barking at me.
Yeah.
You know, for lack of a better way of explaining that. And I'm just like, I have built my business on communication, trust, honesty, transparency. It's an ebb and flow. We're together in the process. So if somebody's coming in and just going, no, blah, 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 what are we doing here? And so because I was still in that like weird, shaky space, or like had went into a weird, shaky space, at least in that moment, I just kind of like kept taking it. Like, it just like the anvil just kept crushing down. So then we get to the session, right? So then that's the consultation, which was already stressful and annoying and all these things. And then I get to the session and it's like, they're running behind. They're doing this. Can we move it? Like, I'm talking like an hour before. Can we move it back 2 hours?
Yeah.
No, I'm literally almost getting in the car to drive because my drive is an hour.
Right.
So just like these like unrealistic expectations and not taking into account that I'm a human that has other things, other parts of my life, other clients that day, all of these things. And it's just like, again, I did stand my ground in that a little bit. Like, I cannot because I have other things, but it was still like, it was just whatever. So let's then kind of cut to the end. We get to the, end of the road. I send gallery out.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, beautiful photos of their products and gorgeous, beautiful photos of them. And then it starts. The like, let's poke holes in every conversation that we've had since the beginning of our connection.
Yeah.
Let's poke holes in what I think I want or what I like or don't like in my deliverables.
Yeah.
Because after, like, it became very clear that they wanted to figure out a way to get a discount.
Oh, God.
Or they didn't want to do the buyout. So, like, in my thing, like, I have different packages. People can purchase different levels of packages, which then include X amount of deliverables in them. If they want to buy more of them after the fact, they can do a buyout. So that was always an option. We built a custom package, of course, right?
Of course.
A custom package for this person to get a happy medium because were working with a budget, which is totally beautiful and wonderful. I'm happy to work on budgets within reason.
Right.
So we built that for her. And then...
But that doesn't mean you get to do
poke,
1,000
poke,
things.
Poking to make me feel less than and being like, and then start to question myself. Like, did I send quality work? I even had to bring my husband in. Can you look at these? Like, he's honest. If he's like, yeah, not your best work, he'll tell me.
Right.
He will tell me. But he was like, dude, what? Like, these are amazing. Like, if I saw these like on a website somewhere, like, I'd be like, these are great. Like, whatever. But it was like these little threads that they were trying to pull to try to like create a story that wasn't even real to figure out a way. And so I finally caught on mid-conversation and I said the name and I said, I'm going to have to like have a moment right now because what's happening is you are backtracking on all the things that we talked about in our consultation. Because then she started pulling in like, well, we were supposed to have this, that, and the other. And I said, actually, if you remember in our conversation, we thought that was going to be too much for this kind of dialed in project. So we ex-nayed all of that stuff and we focused on this one thing. And that's why those props and these things aren't in those photos. Also, you were at the session. You knew that those weren't there.
Yeah.
So why are we now...
It's almost like
creating
they're
a problem.
upset with themselves.
Right. And it was like, I had something to back up each part of it, but it didn't help that like they were so combative.
Yeah.
And mind you, I don't know, I have to just say this really quick. Can we all just say that as people who deeply feel when you send a deliverable and you get a response back, I don't care if it's negative or if it's picking something apart or you have questions or whatever, can you start with saying thank you for sending that?
Right.
Something.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, like, even if there needs to be a back and forth in, like, finalizing the deliverables, like, you just, like, if you just run into, can you do this, and this, and this, and this, you're going to really just start off the conversation on a bad foot.
Right.
Even
and to a creative, that just is, like, shut down.
Right. It's almost worse than not hearing from people at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes when we don't hear from people like, oh, I love it or thank you, like you get in your head. But it's almost worse for them to just jump in and start just like gyrating the whole system, and then not at least
critiquing
be kind and say, thank you so much for taking the time to send these to me. Something. So I don't know. That's a side tangent, but maybe it's my own problem. But I always make sure that I'm grateful to somebody who put time and energy into something for me. You know? So anyways.
So what'd you learn from that?
Oh, I learned.
Or what did you shift something in your business? What did you do?
Yeah. So I learned contracts are really important.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Right? Because I had them. So that was okay. But like, it made me think, do I need even more?
Yeah.
Articulation in certain points and parts, you know, about like the changing of the scope of project that we didn't agree on, or what you decided you want versus didn't want after we already agreed. Tightening up contracts, and really making sure when I go into consultations and just even conversations that are loose, they're not like, you know, consultations yet, making sure that I'm really clear on expectations of them and myself. Right? Because both of us have to bring, especially when I do. Business and branding work, for the most part, is like 85% of what I do. Portrait work is a little bit like lackadaisical because that's just more, there's not as much like.
And I feel like a lot of people don't understand branding, photography and stuff like that.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so they're like, take a picture of my, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah. My guitar,
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of something.
But, right, like, they don't realize that there's like more storytelling behind it. There's bigger things behind it. So contracts, being more clear in my conversations, which has helped me become more confident in how I speak.
Yeah.
In a meeting, on the phone, on a Zoom, in passing. The clearer I can be, clear as kind is a thing that we say in our house. Mm-hmm. Clear as kind. I'd rather be clear up front than you just like come at me with all these things and I have nothing to back it up.
Yeah.
So those are probably the two biggest things, is like making sure that like your language, whether it's like your website is nice and tight on like what you offer, who you serve, your contracts are good, conversations are clear, and it comes with practice. Unfortunately, yes, you can like get an ironclad contract, but even in your articulation on social media or whatever, like it comes with practice, and you're going to have ebbs and flows. You're going to have better ways of doing it than others, and you just have to be. But that's what it taught me.
And isn't it insane? Like, I feel like it's a certain type of person that can like read your contract, but then they will be able to like, it's like a weasel.
Find a loophole.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't know these people existed. They're just like, I'm here to fuck you over. Like that's all they want to do is like,
because they want something for nothing. They want
destroy you. Yeah.
They want their deliverables, but they don't want all the, the fuss of what they need to put into it.
Right.
And it's kind of sad because there's people out there who are coaches and, they're in service with people too, right? Mm-hmm. Or they're sending a piece of art, or they're sending a beautiful piece of clothing that they've, whatever, all these different things. They're helping somebody with their mindset. These things are so like fragile. And you have people out there that are trying to just rip it apart.
Yeah. And it's like a certain type of person.
Yeah.
Like, because
most people, even if they're unhappy with something, it can be an easy conversation.
Well, they're like miserable, like not even having to do with you. Like
that'll be next episode. No.
Right. Like it's like, I don't know what's going on with you, but like, I hate to be in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
So all that to say is, if you're out there sitting out there and you're going, yeah, that sounds kind of familiar to me in some way, shape, or form. And for me, I will beat myself up over it. It'll pop up randomly, or I'll have a client who may not be similar to them, but something they said made me think, oh gosh.
Like triggering.
It's triggering, but it's not that they're going to even give me that experience. I just like worry that it might. Like, do whatever you can to release that, and do what you can to be putting your best foot forward. Because you cannot control what other people are going to say, do, how they want to try to go about ripping apart this, getting a discount there. Everybody wants something for nothing. And especially when it comes to creative and helping fields, they think that we should do it because we love it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Which we do.
I'm going to just say it.
But like also.
And we do. But it's also still our time, our energy, our effort. We have spent money for supplies, maybe for education, maybe for workshops, maybe for
transportation,
marketing, all the things. And the fact of the matter is, if they could do it on their own, they would, but they can't. Right. And so we come with an expertise, a point of view, a something.
Right.
To help. and we want to help and we want to create and we want to support and we want to do this and we that. We want to see the shifts or the transformation in our clients, but it can't come at the cost of us losing our actual minds or losing, you know, business or income because people are trying to go, well, that's great and all, but can you do it for $5? You're like, yeah, what? You know?
Yeah.
So that's my thing. That's my little story and reminder.
You only have one?
Oh God, no.
I know.
But that's just.
I know. I was thinking last night about a certain client that we shared one time. Not shared, but like you did the photography, I did the graphic design, and
Why am I blanking on this?
And it was like
tell me
cuckoo down. It was like insanity.
Why am I blanking? Okay, we're
It
gonna talk
involved
off
a
camera.
wolf. Like an actual
Maybe
live
I blocked
wolf.
it off.
Yeah, you did.
Yes. I did block that out. I don't have enough energy to keep things that stress me out in my head. But yes.
Yeah, we'll leave that story for another day.
Let's flip over to you and your disaster
I have
stories.
like a lot of tea to spill because I like listed. I was thinking about all my nightmare experiences. I was like,
she didn't sleep last night.
Yeah, I was like, no, for real. There was a lot, and it was like stressing me out.
Oh no.
But I'll start with a story of a client who was kind of like bouncing off the contract. What you just brought up. This person found me, seeked me out, asked, you know, if I had room and time to design for her. She was starting a business and in the medical field and wanted a logo. And, you know, we talked back and forth a little bit because we were kind of like-minded in certain aspects of like health and stuff like that. It was interesting to me, you know, the body is very interesting to me. Health is very interesting to me. So I thought I was vibing with her. But it was, again, you know, well, I can't afford your rate. So is there any wiggle room? And of course, like already getting that personal side in before the business side, I was like, sure. So I discounted my rate. And she was local. I was eager to design for her because I thought it would like pull in more local clients. So I started designing, and I send 6 designs at once on one like proof sheet. And, you know, she kind of described what she wanted, very simplistic. And I just started sending the proof. And then, you know, I would kind of almost have to like chase her down, and she'd come back with very vague edits. And so, or she would just say, I don't like any of these.
Super helpful.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, what don't you like? And what do you want to see more of? And is there anything you like?
Yeah. Anything at all.
And I'm talking, I don't like design one logo and then 5 other different versions of that. It's like 6 different logo designs.
It is.
Okay. So I'm sending another proof, same response. Another proof, same response. Another proof, same response. And for some reason, I am just continuing to do this. And inside my soul, I'm like, what is wrong with this person?
Yeah.
Like, am I being punked right now?
Yeah. Is this real?
I ended up designing over 100 logos for this woman. Over 100, Megan. Okay? At a discounted fucking rate. Because I was like, sure, like, you know, all the things.
Why not?
Right. So then she goes for like a week or 2 and then finally gets back to me and tells me, you know, I don't think I'm finding what I'm looking for here. And I'm thinking, dude, it's been over 100 designs that I've sent you, and you have not one critique. You have not liked one font, one layout, one image, one nothing.
Right.
And then she asked for her money back. And since I did not have a contract at the time, because I was a very trusting, creative individual, I had to give it back to her. And I was so freaking angry at myself for not standing up and being like, dude.
Yeah. I've put the work in. You're not.
How many hours do you?
You're not putting the work in on your side either.
Right.
When you're giving vague responses and not saying, this is what I don't like. What?
Yeah. Right. And I'm like, I think I went through all the fonts that I had in my design
Every
program.
font that ever existed.
For real. For real. And and that is when I learned how important a contract is.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays you could just chat GPT it and you could get like a solid contract.
Yeah.
You have that client sign it before you have them pay at least half, depending on what your thing is, but like at least pay half.
Something, please, something, a deposit of some sort.
Right. And I was a designer that had switched to flat fees, and I got away from like an hourly rate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was like a huge story. And then I saw her like in local like Facebook groups, and her logo is so bad. It is so bad. And I'm like, girlfriend, you could have had,
Yeah, you could have had something much more beautiful.
And then I have one more story. To bounce off of that, when I did have a contract and I thought I was fully protected, I had a client who was a lawyer. And
that would scare me. I'd be like, oh no.
It was a very similar situation.
Yeah.
Everything I presented was sent back with nothing. I don't like these. Okay, cool. Like,
what don't you like?
Yeah, like what are you looking for? What are you wanting? But I was so afraid because she knew more than me when it came to laws and contracts. So you're like, that I was like, ooh, like the only thing I had to fall back on was like, okay, well, if we don't have like a final like piece that you're approving and like I'm sending you final files, then I can refund you 50% of what you paid me. And then I felt protected. She was nasty about that even. And even said she was like, she didn't want to like have a throwdown fight with me because she didn't have the time or something.
You're like,
and I was
really
like,
would prefer that not to be the case either.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was like, I'm not meeting you in a parking lot or a back
not
alley.
taking the hoops out.
Right.
Really. Like, what? Why are you saying that?
Right.
Some people are, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, that kind of like, but then also like that taught me revise my contract. I need to edit it just a little bit up. And then I need to maybe change some protocols and things that I'm doing to shift and weave into serving that type of client. But yeah, and all in all, it taught me who I don't want to work with. And and since then, anyone and everyone in the medical field and in law, we just don't jive.
Yeah.
And so it's created an opening for me to actually present, like when I first start communicating with someone who potentially wants to be a client, I let them know that, I'll evaluate what you're needing and wanting, but if it doesn't align with my style and how I operate or your timeline or budget or whatever, then, I can refer you out, but like, it's not going to be me.
The power of the referral.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the best thing ever to get to that point. Feel safe in saying something like that.
Yeah. And it goes back to like like what you said about communication, like communicate. Yeah. Like even if you feel like you're beating a dead horse, like say it again. Say it again.
They didn't read it.
Clear.
They skimmed it. They half-assed listened. They whatever, And
if you need help writing a contract, reach out to one of us because we have edited both of ours like 5,000 times.
Yeah. And I know some beautiful lawyers in the community that are amazing and like in the creative, like more vein of things that would be able to help too if it's something that, because like community and contracts.
And these are not like our only nightmare
client stories. No, gosh.
Like we have way too many. Like could be a 5-hour show if we shared all of our experiences.
If you want more of it, let us know. We can always do another episode. But I mean, I think this gets the point across. No,
right. And then, so I will wrap this up and end with another little fun.
She'd be bringing the quotes, y'all.
Well, yeah. The goal isn't to build a business where every client is perfect. The goal is to build a business where you are confident to handle the clients without losing yourself.
That's a beautiful way of thinking.
Right.
I love
So
that.
you're going to run in, I mean, as is life, you're going to
Yeah.
run into the assholes,
Yeah.
you know,
Unfortunately,
when
they're
you
out
least
there.
expect
They're
it
out
too.
there.
Yeah. But taking each one as a learning experience and adjusting and shifting and changing whatever you need to change
Yeah.
in order to protect yourself and to stay true to yourself and stay authentic to your style and your medium or whatever it is. Even, out there in business, my husband does real estate, like, and he will say too, like, if we don't jive or the client wants more from me than I can offer, then it's just not meant to be.
I feel like a beautiful takeaway here is like the confidence in being clear with yourself.
Yeah,
First and
that too.
foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all will ripple,
Right.
And then just finding the confidence to step into it more and more and more and more and more.
Right.
Because you get a little scared sometimes. So if you're out there feeling scared, like, well, I'm in a season where I feel like I need to take anything and everybody. Like, but do you?
Right.
That's a whole other conversation, right?
Right.
Like, do you, or will you get to where you want to go faster by getting more clear and confident?
Yeah.
You got to allow it.
Yeah.
Dust the cobwebs off and just allow yourself to come forward with what really
Right.
what convictions you have in yourself, your business, all the things.
Yeah. So I'm all about the tea. So if anyone has tea that they want to spill,
yes, let's hear it.
or
It's
if
healing.
you're in the Chicagoland area and have a client that you want to warn others about,
Yeah, ooh,
that too.
That could be like a whole website or a whole app.
Well, isn't there like, have you dated my boyfriend? Like,
are we dating the same person?
Oh yeah,
yeah, or something like that. Are we dating the same person groups? There's also like rate my teacher, so there could be like rate my client.
Yeah. Oh, we
Who's
should start
savvy?
that. We
Who's
should
savvy
start
that can do that? And then it could be like, just like, I think it could be a healing thing, just to get it out of your chest. Because sometimes you don't talk about it with people because you think like, oh, they're gonna think like I'm the bad person or the stressful person or whatever. But really, it's like, no, like if we share it, it's more healing. And then also we could probably laugh a lot with each other over it. And then thirdly, it could be a good way to warn people of other people.
We could tell our wolf story.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Love this.
Yeah.
Tell us your stories. Tell us your tea.
Share the tea. I'm all about the tea. Yes. Until next time. We'll talk a lot of shit.
Bye.